It is the world's smallest Dinobots. Yes, I only have 3 of them, but I've had them for many years. I have Grimlock, Snarl, and Slag. And this is a little bit of a blast from the past type review. Gonna go through these guys, maybe compare them to the G1 counterparts that they're supposed to be. And maybe these small guys are something you might want to get for your collection, or at least dream about, because they're not cheap. But we'll go through all 3, show the similarities to the G1 and the differences, and have some fun. Be right back. All right, so these 3 guys are based on the G1 molds of these Dinobots. Though, you'll notice that the swords are silver, and in the case of Snarl, gray. Fun fact, not fun with flags, just fun fact, the original Dinobots that were in the Diaclone line prior to becoming Transformers did have silver plastic swords, and they were hard plastic. I actually think I might still have the Grimlock one around somewhere, but instead of the rubbery plastic red ones, apparently this knockoff company, because these are not official, decided to go with the original versions of the swords. It's kind of cool. Let's first take a quick look at Grimlock, and I just want to show you what he looks like next to a G1. And I have to actually back up the camera a little bit, do a little maneuvering. As you can see, he is very, very small compared to the original, but pretty much same proportions, looks very similar. Regular Grimlock is about 5.5 inches. World's smallest Grimlock, about 3 1/4. Very cool, same proportions. It's pretty damn neat. All right, posability on this guy is the same as the G1, which means there's not much. He can kind of kick off to the side. He does have knees, that's part of the transformation. The arms can go up and down. I don't maneuver this guy a lot because, you know, he's small and expensive to replace, but arms go up and down. Head doesn't move, of course. And if you're not careful, you can pop his chest out of the, out as if you're about to transform him. But a lot of detail. He's even got the claws that can close over his fists. So very cool. Came with the 2 guns, not the missile launcher, but you know, you can only hold, well, gun and sword. Didn't come with the missile launcher, but he can only hold 2 weapons anyway. Transformation is identical to the original, which these came out around the same time as the Takara World's Smallest, which were teeny tiny versions of G1s that also transformed exactly like their original G1 counterparts, which is cool, though some of them, like Megatron, kind of, while it's cool, it's not the best and most functional figure. But yeah, it transforms exactly the same and pretty much looks exactly the same. He even has a little thing back here, though I don't think it opens, because the original has a dino seat for his driver. This one doesn't seem to want to open. I'm not going to mess with it. So that might be one little difference, but who cares? Do you really have Diaclone drivers that you're worried about? And all the same articulation. The jaw opens. Now there's a little bit of deco differences because this Grimlock has blue eyes, which actually makes more sense considering the cartoon. And I don't think I ever put the stickers on Grimlock here. I kind of like him raw, so he doesn't have the stickers either, but still a very cool miniature version of Grimlock. And the original Grimlock in Dino mode is about 5 inches tall, while the world's smallest is about 2 3/4. So very cool. And yeah, I will put links to these guys. I think I saw Grimlock going for about 100 on eBay. So not the cheapest guys, but they are really cool. All right, let's go with Slag next. So Slag, again, silver sword, which is kind of cool. Can see him from all angles there. Again, identical to the G1. Has a silver gun, which is what the G1 has. The silver sword is again from the Diaclone days. Also notice he has the red face, which is a Diaclone thing, not a G1 thing. Though apparently some might be out there with red faces, I've heard, but haven't done that much research into it. I'm not trying to get every single variant anymore. Now, size-wise, he is about 3.5 inches tall compared to the 5.5 inches tall, which is the G1. Now, he does not come with the shoulder-mounted missile launcher. Pretty sure he did not. I don't recall any such thing. But other than that, he's got the gun and the sword. Same posability as a G1, but one of the other differences is the horns. He's got silver horns like the Diaclone, and not red plastic horns like, well, they're all plastic, but not the red horns of the G1. Now, here is a difference with Grimlock. the transformation is the same here. I guess they couldn't figure out how to get him to retract his fists, so they actually just made them detachable. So you can attach them with weapons in it, but otherwise the rest of the transformation is the same. And he becomes a little Triceratops. By the way, these G1 Dinobots are counterfeit reissues, and I will be happy to put the links to these guys. Again, I did a full review on them. They're pretty much identical to the original G1. So if you feel like getting minty looking Dinobots for your collection, not that you can't find them as genuine G1 Dinobots, but in this good a shape, could be a bit pricier. So, but you can see he is very much exactly the same. Slight deco differences. His eyes are more like very dark and they're hard to see, whereas the original Slag, they're also hard to see. I hope I've been calling him Slag, though no offense to my UK viewers. Yes, Slag, not Slug. Slight difference in coloration on some of the gold, and of course the horns are different. But he's a very cool version of Slag. Very itty bitty, but cool. The original Slag is almost 7 inches long. The world's smallest Slag is a little over 4. Now him I saw online, possibly get him for about 60 bucks, so a little bit more reasonable. Now I'm only showing you 3, and we're about to get into the 3rd one here, which is Snarl, who changes into a Stegosaurus, I believe. And he is very cool. They do have the other 2. I just did not get them at the time, and now they are way more expensive. The initial 3 are expensive enough, but these are like much more so. And yeah, I got bills to pay. Can't spend all my money on Transformers. But there he is. He's got, again, a gray sword, which I think is Diaclone accurate. And he's got the regular gun. He does not come with the shoulder-mounted missile launcher as the original did, but he's still pretty well armed. But you can see them side by side and the size difference. Snarl being about 3 inches and 5.5 for this Snarl. Now, if you watch my other review, you'll remember that this gun is a bit loose. It's still a bit loose. I just haven't had a chance to put any nail polish or anything else on it to thicken it up. I don't set up many battles for them. But again, a great small version of Snarl. Now, just like Slag, you can't actually insert the fists. You actually have to remove them. So that is the one concession to it being so small. So if you do get this guy, just be very aware of that. But the transformation, again, otherwise identical. Though you'll notice the leg just fell off. That is just the way they are put on. It's got a little pin on the side that gets pushed in. These legs are removable. Not saying you should remove them, but saying they are removable. And there you have a very small version of Snarl. And there he is next to the G1 or G1 counterfeit. The original, his head is kind of clear. This is pretty much more clear all the way through. Blue eyes for this, the mini Snarl, and red eyes for the big one. But very cool. Again, the original is almost 5.5 inches long, whereas the mini one is about 3.25 inches long. So extremely cool small versions of these Dinobots. And if you can get them at a reasonable price, I definitely recommend it. I'll put a link in the description to check out these guys. I just figured I would share with you. These have come out so long ago that a lot of the newer collectors aren't even aware, or they might be aware of obviously the G1s. They may not be aware of the littler counterparts. And speaking of little counterparts, while you're mulling over these or just sweeping because it doesn't fit into your budget, which I totally get, you can check out this video over here, which is actually some small versions of G1 Autobots and Decepticons from Dr. Wu. And if you're enjoying this content, by all means, please feel free to subscribe. But most of all, I would like you to have fun and good hunting.